There's so much you can't make this stuff up, Mike Mayock, from this team and the roster building. And I know you admire what Howie Roseman does from your position. Give me your number one Howie Roseman move for this roster. Give me the one that you're impressed with the most, Mike.
It's funny because I do a podcast with my daughter about the Eagles. So I've watched every tape. I've got all 9,000 pages of notes, and I got all Howie's moves right in front of me here.
I love it.
And I broke it down to trade, draft, and UFA. And on the trade side, A.J. Brown and Darius Slay. And don't forget, Jahan Dotson was a little bit of an oversight all season, yet, he caught the first big pass down to the 1 yard line. Free agency, Saquon Barkley, to me, that's the biggest. It's the most obvious. It's also the biggest, not just because of who he is on the field, but I think he was a calming influence in that locker room that was in shambles after a year ago. And when your best player, Rich, is the most selfless on your team, when he's saying, "Now you don't need to put me back in against the Giants. I don't need to set that record." All the players in the locker room were looking at each other saying, how can I be selfish if he's selfless? And I think he did a lot to calm down that locker room. So between him and Zach Bond in free agency, and I think you got to give Vic Fangio a little pat on the back for that one in addition to Howie. And then you look at the draft. Rich, they don't miss in the first round. Devontae Smith was a first-round pick, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Quinyon Mitchell, and in the second round, just in the last 4 or 5 years, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Jalen Hurts, Cooper DeJean. And that's a long way of saying, Rich, that a general manager's job is 365 days a year of player acquisition. And what I think Howie does better than anybody is he hits all of it, whether it's draft, free agency, trades, undrafted free agents. They're starting safety, Blankenship, undrafted free agent. So I don't think you can just identify one move, even though Barkley would be the one. I think you have to look at the composite of what he's put together. I thought they were the best roster 2 years ago against the Chiefs in the whole league. I thought they were the best roster a year ago and this year. So I think Howie Roseman just continues to outdo himself.
Yeah, and he pays the right guys too, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to pay somebody, let's pay Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. And you're not missing on that. And then you're one of your linemen, a couple of your linemen. Like, he seems to hit it right when it comes to paying. He's not dead capping a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? He seems to nail that one too, Mike.
You know what it is, Rich? And part of it is he came up on the salary cap side. So he understands the infrastructure of what you can and can't do dollar and cents wise, as well as any general manager that's ever lived. But to manage the roster and the cap the way they do, you also have to draft well, because you have to have a nucleus of young players playing on the rookie wage scale. That's the key. That's how you can retain players as they get older and better, as long as you're replenishing with rookie cap guys. So I think that's really the sweet sauce. Can they do things like extend players and pay out a bonus that doesn't count against the cap? And they have all those things too. How he uses everything he has, but you can't do what they've done unless you draft well.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.